Hello everyone and welcome back. So I got a lot of freaking DS games and a few other things. A few other little knickknacks. Non-actual game related. Thrifting, I found this HDMI little plug-in thing. It's from Mad Catz though. And it looks okay in there and it has HDMI output. I got it for $2. I was like, that's something I eventually hope to upgrade to, and this along with two 3DS games and one original DS game. I tried out Walmart's online buying of a bunch of pre-owned stuff, and this was just $2, and I got two 3DS games and a DS game for like $15. It was a good amount of that, and this is one of the stage figurines for Swap Force, so I saw it on there through like clearance stuff they were doing on used stuff, so I was like, oh, sure, why not? Epic Mickey and the Power of Illusion, Paper Mario Sticker Star, and the Scribblenauts collection, which is the first two titles, I believe. All in good condition. They're all pre-owned. I'm actually surprised. I thought this was actually two cartridges, but actually is on one cartridge, so never played Scribblenauts before, so that'll be my first time playing that. All very nice. They have all the stuff, good condition. Don't see any problem with them. Now, probably the nicest find here that I got. Let me get these all together. These are all I got together. It was just a bunch of Final Fantasy stuff. Now, probably not as interesting to you, just more interesting to me. And these were good condition. There's no damage to them at all. My favorite expansion, the Final Fantasy XI Chains of Prometheus for the PS2. Now, these are technically not useful at all, especially since it's going to be pulling the plug on the console versions, which I would assume is so they don't have to update them anymore to save money. But these were in good condition, and I got them all very cheap with some other stuff. So it was just kind of something nice to add to the collection. But what I thought was a lot nicer was the original here. With it has a really nice thick booklet within that. And the slip cover's a little damaged, but aside from that, everything else is in good condition. I was just like, part of me is just like, most people wouldn't even appreciate this. So I got that. Then we got Final Fantasy Origins, which I own all these. There's nothing new here, but it was just amazing to find these all on one day. Now, these PS1 games are a little damaged. There was some circular scratches on there, yeah, see. So I don't know if they can be buffed, but they were just super cheap. They have all their cases and everything. So I was like, oh, why not? Final Fantasy Chronicles. Actually, I don't think the booklet was in this one. Yeah, this one don't have the booklet, but it has both the games. And Final Fantasy IX. Grace Hits version, the disappointing one. It does have its booklet. The reason I say disappointing is because the original Final Fantasy IX, it featured a really nice gloss artwork of 4 of the characters on the discs, and the Grace Hits version does not, so that's a bit of a sucky thing now, but Final Fantasy IX. And I got these all for the wondrous price of $10, which is confusing. Because the Samaritan store I go to, which is usually where I find a lot of the DOS games and really old stuff, I've bitched about some of the employees who won the cash register just pulling prices out of their ass, because normally it's $2 each. Now, if you were to do that, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I had $11 out instead of 10. I was like, that's weird. And what's weird was there's these Wii games, like horrible Wii games. Well, not horrible, but not very well received games that sell super cheap on Amazon. The only reason that you probably shouldn't buy them on Amazon is because you're going to be paying, $3, $4, maybe even $5 on shipping, depending on who you're getting it from. I mean, we're talking about stuff that's like penny to $1 value on Amazon, not counting its shipping. And they want $5 for those. But I mean, literally just these 3 games are probably like an easy $40 probably 20 for like 20 at minimum. So it's like I just have to say you fuckers need to really get your act together. What the fuck you doing? You want more money for shit that's worthless, and you want nothing for shit that's valuable. Doesn't make sense at all. But whatever, I made out on it, so I'm just kind of bitching at thin air. Just sometimes facepalm. GameStop had a lot of buy two, get one frees and different other things. They were trying to get rid of a lot of the collectible stuff near the end of the year. Like, they had Battlefront for $49. They had, and you could get a pop figurine, Batman with an action figure. And right now, I just got an email that they got a huge clearance on all their fucking junked merch crap. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand, you know, if you like that franchise and that, I mean, I get things from franchises that I like, but I just mean, like, GameStop's, like, my stores here, like, almost 60% merch now. It's, like, getting ridiculous, but I did not find too many things to make use of the buy two, get one free. The only real deal I got was these three here. It is the Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate for the 3DS, Fortune City for the Wii, and a little RPG that I haven't gotten in my PS3 quite yet, so we got that. Now, I admit this is a little shady, but I actually saw, long ago when I started dumpster diving, I found this case, and for some reason they threw the case away, but they still had the game, and they didn't have a generic case representing it, so for some reason this got thrown away when it was not supposed to, and they had it in a drawer, but not actually listed for sale, unless you looked on the computer, which is what I did. Well, I saw the case there, and it had its booklet, and I was like, huh. Like I said, maybe a little shady, but hey, I did buy the game at one point in time, so I just thought, well, the Mario game doesn't have a booklet. What? Don't judge me. It was only bound to be in the trash anyway. You saw what happened to the first one. Anyway, so that's nice. I would have wanted to pay cheaper for Fortune City. Like, I waited for it to be low, but, well, the buy two, get one free thing was, an opportunity to get that. I found a sealed Xbox One game. Well, not that Xbox One. The actual Xbox One. You know, the forced one. The real forced one. I fucking hate you, Microsoft. But an original Xbox game that's sealed. Some of the wrappings damaged a little. It was $7. Never heard of it. And it says 2, and it's by Koei. The pictures kind of have this very, like, B-movie kind of feeling to it. It looks interesting. I look forward to trying it. If I like it, I'll definitely look up the first one. I never heard of it, especially since it's from Koei, of all people. Koei. Now, like I said, I do have a lot of DS games, and these were part of the buy two, get one free. However, I had requested... Basically, I had a big list of stuff I've been looking for, and the manager has been having her time cut. Like, she barely gets, like, 4 hours a day now, and she's the fucking manager. Like, she has 2 jobs now and stuff, and, like, they treat those boys like fucking shit, I tell you. Seriously, I don't know why the fuck they don't rob them of all the shit they throw away for extra money, but, so, I've had a growing list, and I caught her one day, and I asked her, you know, what's another day you're going to be in? Because I got some stuff I want you to look up, and I didn't realize the list was a little bigger than I imagined. And I did find a few others that weren't on my list, because what she did, they were a lot of cheapos. Like, very cheap. We're talking about 99 cents to about $4.99 averagely, with a few, like, there was one that was 6 something and one that was 17 something, and that was the most expensive. So she basically told them, you know, send whichever games that particular store had, and, you know, a bunch of extras or excess you have, because she actually has been dry on DS games for quite a while, so I think it worked out both. And like I said, I found some titles. Now, this ain't all of them. I mean, all of the ones I got now, but the ones I've requested, they haven't all came in because we had mass flooding and crap here between a little before, like between Christmas and New Year's, we had a mass flooding in Missouri. So a lot of it probably got hung in the mail. Could, worst case scenario, been lost. But I do have a nifty little stack here. None of it has its original artwork. A few of them actually had their booklets, though. They had their booklets in the yellow slip, which actually, that's not a bad idea, to be honest, because it does enough for them. Now, here, this is not one of the ones I requested. This is the spiritual sequel to Zora's Dream. And I was actually happy to see that in there. I think it was $1.99, so I was like, oh, I always wanted to try that. I Nimble X-Play, like, fucking farted all over it. And now I can actually see if it's actually any good. Because, as we know, Adam Sessler's opinion's a piece of shit nowadays. Because all he is too busy with fucking politics. Army Man. That was 99 cents. Yeah, that was like one of the last Army Men games, and that was after they went bankrupt and sold out. I just thought it'd be good for a laugh, and it's probably horrible. This is a sequel to a horror game on the original DS. This game, if you see it at GameStop, buy it, because it is a growing, it's like $20 to $40 averagely online, so it is a very costly game. I definitely recommend getting it if you can find it for a reasonable price. This was also cheap. Squad Commando, I don't know if it's any good. I just was like, yeah, Warhammer, I could try it. Dungeon Explorer, this was one of the games I requested. It is related to a Hudson Soft franchise. There's also a PSP game by the same name. As far as I'm aware of, they are not the same game, however. This I saw in there. It's a Hudson Soft title. It's some puzzle game, apparently. It was 99 cents, so I was like, well, why not? Never heard of it. Let's see. Now, this is a second copy. I had already gotten it. It was 99 cents also. But I thought I could give away the second copy. Shuffle Away. It's just a little Majesco title. Let's see. Tokyo Beatdown. This is an interesting game by Atlas. It's a side-scroll beat-em-up on the original DS. It looked very interesting. This was, I think, $1.99. I mean, like I said, I got these all really fucking cheap. I mean, I would have loved to have the cases and that, but, you know, sadly, I didn't get any luck on that. Now, this title is a... Like, its franchise is on the Dreamcast, but as far as I can tell, this is a completely different game. It's very odd. I don't know really how to describe it. I popped in, I was just immediately confused. I was like, okay, I'll figure this out later. Here's another Atlas game. This is one I requested. The Master of the Monster Lair. I never, there's a title found the case for that game too, lucky bastard. Now here's one that has its booklet, and it's from Ignition, who published a few Japanese titles for the DS. I never heard of it. It looked interesting, so I was like, why not? So, and it's nice it had its booklet. Whatever store put these books in here, in the yellow slips, keep doing that. That's at least a lot better than most GameStops. Please keep doing that. Here's another one. This thing was literally cheap as shit. It's a weird little gun game of that. It's nothing too fancy. It was just something I thought I could try one day. Let's see, Clash of Heroes. This was not one I requested. However, she had one, and I think it was $2.99. It's a puzzle game on the. It's the Mighty Magic. Yeah, the Mighty Magic. It's a spin-off title. Then Super Monkey Ball for the DS. I don't know. I always went into the Super Monkey Ball games for some reason. Let's see. Death Junior. I've never actually played any of the Death Junior games. This one was also super cheap. I think it was $2.99. I was like, why not? And then this was not one I requested. It also had its booklet. This is one of the few games that was only for the DSi. It will work on modern DSs that have cameras, but it will not work on the DS Fatnet, the ones without a camera. And this was a really weird game. I actually remember seeing this a long time ago in stores. Basically, it's if you have a 3DS, if you ever played that game where you shoot heads and stuff and you move your 3DS, it's basically that. Just for older DSs. It just puts enemies in your real environment. So it's nothing too fancy, but that was like $1.99. I thought that could be for a cheap laugh too. And that's pretty much, that should be all the new pickups in that. Updating wise, if you watch my Let's Play channel, you might have noticed I put out a video of Final Fantasy XI. Yes, I am playing Final Fantasy XI again. Mainly because they did a expansion, a free expansion, over the course of this year. That's the end of the official storyline. It's coming to an end. A very rare occurrence for an online game in this magnitude. I mean, usually what happens is that, you know, they just pull the plug and that's all, you know. They don't usually wrap up a conclusion and such. They, you know, they milk it all the way dry until the train crashes. So, and the game's not dying. They're just pulling the console version, which I don't like the idea of it, but I also understand why they're doing it. Because, you know, the 360's an old console, you know. The PS3 and the 360 are like 10 years freaking old. And now they're, you know, the previous gen now, on top of being freaking old. And then, of course, the PS2 version is really, really old. I mean, in America, we didn't even get a physical version of Wings of Goddess, I believe. I know Sequels of Edoran didn't. Or maybe it was Sequels of Edoran. I don't remember. One of them didn't get a physical PS2 version in America. Japan did, but America didn't. And they're pulling the console versions, and it's probably very obvious. As playing right now, my server has, during American times, about 500 people, and during Japanese time frame, about 700 to 800 people. Population went on my server. Now, I don't know if that's normal for all of the servers, like if that's the average, or if I'm just on a very low-end server at this point, but the population has went way down, and a lot of fucking shit has changed. I mean, you can solo tons of the game now. You can summon NPC characters from the storyline to help you in fights, and it's an interesting mechanic, and I see what they're going with it. With the lower population, it allows people to continue play, but it vastly changes the way you're playing it, because you're not interacting with people as much. Plus, you know, the NPCs have limited AI, so they're not the greatest. I mean, they do work. You're gonna see I do multiple fights with them, but you know, there's some incidents where having human players, you lose that. It's just, you know, if you were to start Final Fantasy XI right now, it would be nothing like when I played it, is the point I'm trying to get across. If your biggest problem with Final Fantasy XI was people, though, good news! You don't need people as much now. Not even nearly. Like, there's only a few things where you really, really have to have tons of human people, and that's virtually very belittling. So I wouldn't disencourage anyone from trying out Final Fantasy XI still, because they plan on keeping the PC version going with a eventual mobile version on phones, which I still don't even understand how the fuck that's gonna work, an MMO on a phone. Like, you know, if it was something like Mabel's Story, I could understand, but, you know, big ass, I mean, like, I know Final Fantasy XI's old graphics, don't get me wrong there, but on a phone still, a gigantic world? I don't know. But, it's It's really refreshing to play in a way, though. A lot of memories, and the new add-on story really throws you around everywhere you've been if you've done the majority or all of the game. Which, I've done everything except the end part of Bostock in Sequels of Dolan. And if you want to really nitpick, the Diamus, I think it was pronounced Diamus. Oh, I don't remember how to even pronounce it. Where you fight Diablo. Those I've never done. Everything else I've pretty much done. Every storyline and several other side content things like fighting Bahamut and Chains of Prometheus' little side content thing with that. I mean, it's really nice to interact with a lot of the stuff from past. I mean, I started in 2007. That's a long time ago for one solitary game, you know. In this March, the console version, as I said, is going to be gone. The game's not going to be gone, and the PC will live on, but the console versions would die. And especially if you're a 360 achievement hole, that's a set of achievements you'll never have access to again, so only a certain lucky number of people have any achievements in that, which I got like, I think half of them. I mean, there's some of them for a lot of other obscure stuff for that, but a good chunk of them, the original achievement set was for all the jobs at 75, so. And Wings of Goddess introduced it a bunch more easier ones. And then you got mission completion ones. But, yeah, basically, my goal is to finish Sequels of Dolan, the final conclusion storyline, and maybe get Bostock finished. I'd like to get Bostock finished, but it's not the top priority. I would like to do it before the 360 version's pulled, because then I have to buy the PC version, because, well, I did play on PC at one time. That's because there was a short time period Aaron was playing Final Fantasy XI. I got him the PC version, and he did have some funds to be able to afford playing in that. And I used that to install, because, you know, I already have an account, so I just needed to install and then log in. Which, sadly, from what I understand, Final Fantasy XIV is not like that. You actually need a entirely new license key, even if you have an account already on a different system. So that's kind of fucked up, but whatever. Anywho, so yeah, I'd rather not buy it again, but at the same time, there's a part of me that wants me to, because I can tell I really actually missed Final Fantasy XI right now. Like, I've been really enjoying playing it again, even though it's vastly different, and there's things, obviously, I don't like about some of the new stuff they did, but I can understand why they're doing it. The game is growing old, and the player base is dwindling. There was still a decent player base. I would say as long as there's people paying money, they'll probably keep at least one server up. As far as I know, no more servers have been merged or closed since my first server that was on. That was the first and only time, as far as I know, they ever merged servers before. So, I'm sure there'll probably be a eventual time they may merge them again in there, but I'd say for a good while, there probably will be a player base that'll keep playing for a good portion, but as long as they get probably enough money to keep paying for the server, I'm sure it'll keep going on. Interestingly enough, though, I know for a long time when I was playing Final Fantasy XI, there were people who were trying really hard to actually make a private server of Final Fantasy XI. Apparently somebody finally actually did that. However, it's not perfect. There's a lot of bugs and mission issues, and you can't access all the missions. Like, I think I read the Wings of Goddess missions. If you storm, you bug your whole account and stuff. So, but hopefully, in the eventual time period Square Enix does kill Final Fantasy XI, hopefully that will be in a more complete way that people can experience the game still. Either way, yeah, my main goal at the beginning of the year here is to finish Final Fantasy XI, basically. Whether I'll keep playing after that point is really hard to say. I've been paying for it for about 2-3 years, virtually not playing it anymore. Because I didn't want my character to be deleted. Because while most people say they haven't experienced their character being deleted for quitting for multiple years, there are all rare instances where people had their characters deleted before. And the terms of service that says something about like up to 3 months or something like that, if I remember correctly. I didn't want my character to be deleted because there was no fucking way I would have done everything all over again to get back to where I was. There was no fucking way I would have done that. Too much shit to do. But I don't know. It's really weird playing an MMO for so long, you know? Getting so far, working so hard. Like, it's not like a normal RPG. You put so much of your soul and effort to make progression and improve your character on that. And it's really sad to see a day where you might have to hit the delete button or the quit button or watch it fade away. A part of me, I'm thinking about asking one of my... Because two of my really old Link Shell friends still plays. And I was thinking of actually asking any of them if they were interested, if they wanted my account. Because some people have multiple accounts. And I was like, well, you know, my Link Shell friends, you know, I would have never gone, even though most of the ones I held really close to myself don't even play anymore. Like, one of my closest friends from Final Fantasy XI lived in Germany. I have contact with his brother on Facebook, but I haven't had contact with him himself in a long time, because he deleted his Facebook page. But I used to talk to him a long time ago on Facebook when he quit 11. But I do occasionally talk to his brother on Facebook. You know, a lot of my Link Shell friends, you know, I would have probably never gotten so much of the content in Final Fantasy XI even beaten if, you know, like when I was playing, if you didn't have teamwork, you fucking getting nowhere. Nowhere. Like, there was stuff to solo. You could solo certain things, but you had to be like the ultimate hardcore demigod of the game to do a lot of that stuff. Have tons of money, the greatest gear in the game. Always have the tip-top shape of everything to solo in the older days. It wasn't that easy to solo on a cheap budget and not having everything. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with my character exactly, because obviously if I don't get the PC version, I can't play it anymore, so I'm not 100% sure what I'll do with my account exactly. I do want my actual Square Enix account still, because if I start Final Fantasy XIV, which is kind of the boarding jump thing I want to do, is you do get some key items, unless that's changed. I remember you get some items for having your Final Fantasy XI account linked with your Final Fantasy XIV account. You get some, like, Hermes boots and some stuff. I don't know if you still get that or if you get some other stuff. Somebody may be able to clarify that, but not quite sure. I will have to think about it over the coming months. But yeah, primarily with the Let's Plays, I'm going to try and keep Final Fantasy Tactics going, but it's going to kind of swap between Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy XI, and Dark Souls 2. I'm not going to have 2 videos every single day for a while I'm doing this, because I'm going to be putting a lot more work in Final Fantasy XI, obviously. So I'm going to kind of scale back to 1 video a day on the Let's Play channel, but I'm going to try and keep content going still. And that's the general plan for the Let's Play channel. On the main channel, there's a lot of videos I want to do on the main channel. I want to get back to talking about obscure games. I want to get more Forced Impressions kind of stuff out. So I'm hoping to do a little more of that. And I want to talk about a lot of original Xbox games. I want to get a cord so I can record original Xbox footage. But I haven't had any luck getting one for a cheap price. Aside from that, I don't think there's really much else. I haven't got my newest indie box, and Christmas was pretty normal for me. New Year's was pretty normal for me. It's been the same thing for the last few years for me. But aside from that, not too much else going on, really. You know, it's a new, fresh year. It's the 3rd of January. Let's hope for a good year in 2016, hopefully. So anyway, praise the sun, and until next time, I hope you all had a good Christmas, a good New Year's, and I will see you somewhere in the Ethernet. We boot.